Hello, hello, my friends. We have made it to the month of September. I love this time of year, all of the Burr months, right? Which I feel like a lot of people now are like being very outspoken and calling it the Burr months, which I never thought of it that way, but I guess it is. We're talking September, October, November, December. I love this time of year. I love decorating my home for fall, even though I don't really experience true fall where I live. And I have a birthday coming up in October. And then, of course, I always love the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas. We just know that, like, the energy snowballs from here, right? But before we can look forward to all of those fun things, I did want to take a moment to look back on the month of August and share with you the candles that I finished burning in the latter half of the month. This is a series that I like to do twice a month here on my channel where I share with you my candle empties. What did I finish burning? I do oftentimes give you guys my first sniff impressions. I give you usually like a midpoint burn, which is when I will usually do my full post burn reviews. Those are like my dedicated reviews. And then when I finish burning a candle, I let you guys know, is this one that I would repurchase? Do I think that you should purchase it? Just kind of gives like the final goodbye, I guess I would say, to a fragrance. Now, before I get into this video, I did want to just talk about the elephant in the room. If you caught my community tab post, this is a video that I probably would have uploaded actually last Friday or Saturday. However, you can still hear it in my voice. I did catch my children's lovely back to school cold that they brought home. And while I still sound kind of congested, I was pretty congested last week, but I can smell fine. I just kind of have that like lingering drainage and that annoying voice. So don't be alarmed if obviously you can't catch anything through the camera. I'm not contagious. I am actually on like the tail end of this. So I feel fine enough to sit down and film this. So that is why this video is a little bit delayed. I know you guys are all very understanding of that. Also, stay tuned to the end of this video. I'll give you a couple of programming updates for my channel this week. And but yeah, we all know that I tend to like to talk. I'm going to try to keep this video a little bit shorter. Warm welcome to any new viewers. Hi, I'm Katie. I obviously don't normally sound this nasally, but I love to talk about candles. So feel free to subscribe to my channel if you like candle content. I welcome back to any viewers and subscribers. Thanks for coming back. Please don't forget to hit thumbs up if you enjoy this video. And as always, all of the candles that I talk about today will be listed with timestamps down below with any kind of links to their websites or discount codes that I have to offer. So let's go ahead and talk about all of these empties. I have a crate here of a couple of candles, so this is going to be kind of fun because I'm going to be pulling candles out. I see the lids, but I'm like, oh, what fragrance am I pulling out? So the first one that I have pulled out here is Sweater Weather. Now, if you've been following me over the last month and a half, I've talked about how surprised I am by how much I am loving this fragrance. It's not a new scent. It's been at Bath & Body Works for a long, long time. However, this is the first year that I have purchased it in candle format. I've always liked it in my vehicle. Fragrance notes on Sweater Weather are fresh sage, juniper berries, aromatic eucalyptus, and fresh woods. This burned really well for me. You can actually see all the way down, like it didn't, most of my Bath & Body Works candles don't go all the way clear to the bottom like a lot of my HOMEWORX candles do. But this was a solid performer for me all the way down. I did not run into any wick issues. I have been having that with quite a few of my Bath & Body Works candles, a couple of them that I finished here. But this is one that has been a really strong performer for me, so much so that I did purchase another one for this season. I really like this fragrance, particularly like in the evenings. I've been enjoying it. I think one of the reasons why I'm liking this so much is because I find it to be a very like palate cleansing or room cleansing type of fragrance, particularly after dinner, because I've noticed that I've burned this a lot in the evenings. Strength and throw on this was really, really good for me. I would give this a solid 8.5, 9 throughout my living room and kitchen. And obviously, I did repurchase it because I'm just really loving that fragrance. I don't really feel like I need to go on and on about that one because that's been around for a long time. But yeah, just, fresh fall type of scent, which I have been loving. Let's talk about a Kringle candle that I somewhat finished here, and we're going to talk about this. So this is Apple Leaf from Cringle. The fragrance notes are not listed on the bottom of this one, but this I described, I believe I did a dedicated post-burn review. I forgot to mention that. If I have dedicated reviews on these, those can also be found in the description box. So the reason why I am calling this one an empty, even though there is a lot of wax left, is for a common issue with Kringle. Now, I know that sometimes Kringle does watch my videos, and this is feedback that I have shared with them, and I know other ambassadors have, but if you want to send some feedback to them as well, they are probably one of the best companies at listening to customer feedback. What I am finding, the reason why that this is in my empties bin, look at the wicks. The wick clips detach on these, particularly as they get towards the bottom. I find this to be an issue more so in the 3 wicks than the 2 wicks. Occasionally I'll run into that with some of the 2 wick candles, but I do run into this issue more so with the 3 wicks. And so unfortunately, you can see that the wicks move so close to the side that I just didn't find this to be a very safe candle to keep burning. I actually might hold on to this one and stick it into my crock just to get that little bit of fragrance left on this one, because I really, really like this scent. This to me is it's not your traditional, like the fruit of an apple, the sweetness of an apple. This is more, as the name would imply, apple leaf. This smells like the woody stem, like when you freshly pick an apple off of the tree and you got like that, like the woodiness at the end with the leaf. And oh, it's just really good. I've talked about this before, that my parents had an apple tree outside of our house growing up, and I remember as a little girl going and pulling off an apple and it's smelling like this. There's something nostalgic about this fragrance. Spoiler alert, I did participate in the 3 wick sale that Kringle had going on. It was prior to their Labor Day sale. It was like their $12.95 3 wick sale, and I did purchase another one of these candles. I don't know if I'll burn it again this season, but this is a great early fall type of fragrance. So I was really glad to get my hands on another one of those. The next candle that I wanted to talk about is a HOMEWORX candle. This is Deliciously Apple. Fragrance notes on here are Juicy Macintosh, Honeycrisp Apple, Watery Pear, and Applewood. This has a pour date of May 8th, 2023, so this is a little bit older candle. This performed quite solidly for me all the way down. I do always include some B-roll here of what these candles look like up close. But this one burned solidly all the way down, and you'll see a really, really clean burn. One of the things that I will give HOMEWORX, I will always give it to them on their packaging, as well as their burns have been significantly, probably, to be honest with you, they've probably been the cleanest burning candles that I have experienced so far in 2024. That reputation used to be with Kringle, but I do notice some of their vessels, some of their wax formulas, you're going to see a couple of them in here, do get a little bit sooty towards the end, but HOMEWORX has been pretty clean so far on the burns. I've only had one so far this year. I think it was Beach Bonfire, and I think that by nature is just a smokier type of fragrance. That one got a little bit sooty on me, but really, really clean burn on this. Now, Deliciously Apple, I did do a dedicated review on. Is this going to be a repurchase for me? No. Is this a good solid, if you just want a good apple fragrance to kind of amplify or complement some other candles that are currently in your collection? Maybe if you want just a very simple apple and pumpkin type of fragrance, you could pair this with, say, like farm stand pumpkin, any kind of pumpkin fragrance you could probably just pair this with. Or if you want to amplify, maybe you have like an apple pie type of fragrance or anything. This is like a good like blending type of candle. But is it one that I absolutely need in my collection? No, it's not. Performance was decent on this. I would give this one probably anywhere between like a 6 and a 7. It kind of got a little bit lost out here in the open concept, but it did really well in the more closed concept bedrooms. I'm going to go ahead and put that down there. All right, while we are talking about apples, this lid I need to be cautious with. This is Kringle Candles Bourbon Apple and Oud. This is from their new fall lineup for 2024. This candle was sent to me in PR. Fragrance notes here are bourbon, apple, wood, sweet, tonka, and amber. Hold on a minute, I feel a coughing fit coming on. I have a feeling I'm going to have to be editing this video a lot, because being on the tail end of an annoying cold means you're also going to be dealing with those annoying random coughing fits that come out of nowhere. All right, so Bourbon Apple and Oud on this fragrance. This is a nice fragrance. I do like it. A lot of people were like, oh, I smell the apple so much in here. And I do, but I will say that my nose detects the woody oud aspect probably the most on this fragrance. It's definitely a more conceptual fragrance. It's not one that I've smelled with other brands. So kudos to Kringle for kind of going outside of the box. Is it a fragrance that I see myself needing backups of or repurchasing? No. I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, I burned it all the way down. Now you will see that towards the end here, it did get a little bit sooty. I've talked about this several times with Kringle vessels. The burn themselves, like the wax itself, stays very, very clean. I do notice though, as the candle gets further down in these 2-wick tumblers, that there is usually some kind of soot accrual with some of these fragrances. Not all of them, for whatever reason. Like I'm going to show you another one from the fall lineup that there's barely any soot in there. But for whatever reason, this one got a little bit sootier. But the burn itself, like the wax, is still very, very clean. It's just, I think that it's these vessels, especially as you get further down, they almost have like a hurricane effect where they're going to catch some of that soot. But yeah, I did. I think I finished burning this one outside on its final burn. Outside, I can always tell because I catch bugs when I do that outside, usually for an evening burn. But I liked the fragrance. I didn't love it, I guess. Maybe that it wasn't really something that I was just clamoring to have backups of. But definitely, if you like oud fragrances, you will like this one. It's like a new like fall take on an oud scent. So yeah, that was a nice one here. I just dropped the silicone portion of the lid, so I guess I'll just put that on down there. All right, let's talk about another Bath and Body Works candle. Okay, this was my first year purchasing this candle, and I'm going to tell you guys, I was really disappointed in it. This is Marshmallow Fireside. Again, another fragrance that's been in the Bath and Body Works lineup for a long, long time. Not new. I had never purchased it before. I know, hard to believe, because this is a fragrance that's totally up my alley. I love the like gooiness of like a vanilla marshmallow mixed with like a smoky aspect. And I like this fragrance. However, fragrance notes here: toasted marshmallow, smoldering woods, fire roasted vanilla, crystallized amber. I like this fragrance, but this was weak for me, you guys. Like really, really weak. I placed this in my daughter's bedroom, which is one of the smaller rooms in our house, and it was maybe like a 4 in there. For whatever reason, it was not very strong. And then the second half of the burn, I felt that this one really struggled with the wicks as well. It was one of those like really slow burning candles, and it smelled more like you know how Bath and Body Works candles, sometimes when they start to dead out like that, when the wicks are not burning too hot, they get kind of that like sooty smell. And that's what I smelled more so in this than anything. So I did end up finishing burning this one outside. It did not catch any bugs. But yeah, I wouldn't repurchase this one just because I do prefer Kringle candles, warm and toasty. More so, that is a little bit more sophisticated. You smell more of like the amber and a good like gourmand vanilla, whereas this just like, I feel like this is like what got a lot of people interested in those types of fragrances, but for me, it's not going to be a repurchase. I am filming this video on Labor Day, and I did want to let you guys know that my husband is outside doing some yard work and kids are home. So if you happen to hear background noise, we're just going to roll with it. But do always want to address that in case you start hearing things that you're like, what on earth is going on at her house? All right, here's the candle that I was just referring to that burned really cleanly for me all the way down. And I will be saving this vessel because I love this label so much. This is Kringle's Kittens and Cashmere. Oh man, so good. Love, love, love the scent. Now you will see that like the wax looks kind of weird on the inside of this one. I will be, like I said, saving this vessel because I just love it so much. The fragrance notes on Kittens and Cashmere are ozone, green, herbal, fir needle, eucalyptus mint, herbal, amber, and musk. So this fragrance I have described as being in the same category as Sweater Weather. If you like Sweater Weather from Bath & Body Works, I think that you will like this candle as well. This is not a dupe. The difference on this is that if you are familiar with last holiday season, they had a fragrance called Winter Woods, and it had like this like deer on the front of it. That had kind of like a minty aspect to it. I feel like this is the child of Winter Woods and Bath & Body Works Sweater Weather combined. I really, really like this fragrance. A spoiler alert, I did purchase this candle in a 3-wick during the $12.95 3-wick sale because I'm on this like fresh fall type of kick. And I like burning those candles, particularly in the evening. This candle was a solid performer for me, even in this standard 2-wick. When I was at the midpoint, and I do find this with a lot of my Kringle candles, when I hit that midpoint, I do notice that I find these like scent pockets where there's not really a whole lot going on. So the fragrance output can vary depending on where I'm at. So usually like at the beginning part of the candle, it's usually pretty strong. But the strongest performance I usually get on these Kringle candles are usually once I pass the halfway mark, like once I get down here to about a third of the wax left, it performs quite well. Last burn on this candle, I would say it was a good like solid 7.5. I would give it. The 3-wick I have already lit up, and I will say that I did notice that that one was a little bit stronger. I burned it last night, and it was a good solid 8 out here in the living room. So if you're wanting more oomph, I would go with the 3-wicks from Kringle if it's offered. But if you like the aesthetic of these 2-wicks and maybe you have more of a close concept or smaller style of home, they're going to perform well for you. But really like this fragrance. Speaking of the 3-wicks from Kringle, I did finish burning Bourbon Bonfire, which was from their 2023 fall lineup. This is one of my favorite fragrances from Kringle. Fragrance notes on Bourbon Bonfire are Tennessee whiskey, golden aged rum, crushed clove, cinnamon sticks, cedarwood, sandalwood, smoked vanilla bean. This one burned quite well all the way down. And while the wicks shifted a little bit, they didn't move as much as the one, the apple leaf candle. Now, I will tell you, this fragrance performs really well in my home. Good strength and throw. This I feel like is a good year-round fragrance, particularly in the evenings. It's not overly boozy to my nose, but I do get more of the sweetness from a rum in here, maybe a little bit of whiskey, but it's balanced out with like a sandalwood and a vanilla note in there. It's definitely like there's a little bit of smokiness in the background of this, but not like bonfire. It's not like a fiery smokiness. It's more like aged wood or something like the wood that the whiskey and that the whiskey has been, what I want to say, processing in. I know that's aged in. Had some type of like smoked wood aspect to it. That's what this reminds me of. I do have a backup of this candle already, and I could see myself probably burning the other one at some point throughout this fall and winter. I finished up a candle which is no longer available from HOMEWORX. This is a candle that I actually purchased, I think, from TJ Maxx earlier this year. This is Bordeaux Fig and Raspberry. Now, I do love the vessel on this. I think this must have been like a QVC type of purchase. Fragrance notes on this candle are Bordeaux Fig, Wild Raspberry, White Woods, Vetiver. This one has a pour date of June 17th, 2021. So this is definitely like a throwback type of fragrance. Look at how this burned all the way down. I mean, like there is hardly any wax left. These were like, oh man, this was a good one. Now, I did like this fragrance. You do get some fig note in here, but you do get the sweetness of raspberry. It was a really beautifully blended candle. I actually purchased this at the beginning of the year and thought, oh, I'll burn that around Valentine's Day. But I actually ended up never getting around to it around that time and started burning it instead with another candle that I'm going to show you that I just finished up. But it was a good burn. Performance was pretty solid on this one. I would give it probably like about a 7 in terms of strength and throw. You can't purchase it right now, but if this fragrance ever did come back, I would highly recommend it if you were somebody who likes maybe just a little bit different take on a fig fragrance mixed with some raspberry. It was a really nice scent. I think I'm going to move that over here. All right, and the candle that I burned that with was Kringle Candles Crimson and Clover. This is one of the first PR packages that Kringle ever sent me. I don't have the fragrance notes on here, but this is definitely a fig heavy fragrance. It's got a little bit more of a green accord to it than the raspberry one does. It's a very sweet fragrance. Performance was pretty solid for me. I do have a dedicated post-burn review on this one. I believe that this was recently on sale for 30% off during the Labor Day sale. I don't know if that is still going on, but the reserve candles don't go on sale very often. So if you like fig fragrances, if you like sweet fig fragrances, but this one has a little bit of greenery mixed with it, then I would highly recommend this one. Another Bath & Body Works candle that I finished burning, and again, not a new fragrance, but it's the first time I've ever had it, Pumpkin Spice Latte. Fragrance notes here are pumpkin pie spice, freshly brewed espresso, homemade whipped cream, I did enjoy burning this in the morning here in my house. Nice fragrance. You definitely get some of that espresso, but there is the creaminess of vanilla in here with a little hint of pumpkin pie spice. I did like it. Is it one that I like need backups and backups of? No, it was a nice fragrance. It was one that I enjoyed trying for the first time. I do know that Cringle is releasing a pumpkin spice latte fragrance in their reserve line that's coming up, I think, this Thursday. We'll talk about that at the end of this video. But this was a good fragrance. It wasn't super strong for me. I would give this one around like a 6 in terms of strength and throw. Got a little bit lost further on down the burn as I burned it out here in my open concept living room. The bedrooms was probably more of a prime spot for it to perform well, but out here in the open concept, it didn't do so well. So it's not going to be a repurchase for me, but it was nice to go ahead and give a try. And then I have a country candle that I finished burning here. This is Glazed Berry Scone. Now, again, you're going to see, look what happened to the wicks here. They moved. So this was one of the rare instances where a 2-wick, it started to move. And you can also see that this one got pretty sooty around the rim. I've talked about that with the country candles, that I do think that that is part of that apothecary style jar, that it does catch some soot. But you can also see the wicks on this one got pretty long and carbony, I should say. But I did like the fragrance. I wanted this candle to be a lot stronger. I would say this one only like maxed out at around like a 5 for me. It was not a strong fragrance, but the fragrance itself I really enjoyed. A good, like, I got more cranberry than blueberry from this fragrance, but really, really nice fragrance. I wish it were stronger, and I wish it burned better. And the final candle that I have to talk about is Bath & Body Works Pumpkin Bonfire. And again, not a new fragrance, one that is new to me. Fragrance notes on here are white pumpkin, a bundle of clove buds, glowing embers. I said that to me, I gave the opinion that this candle to me is very similar. It's in the family of HOMEWORX Winter Fireside. That's a little bit more incense heavy, but if you like a smoky clove type of fragrance, I think that you will enjoy this. However, one of the things I will tell you, this one did finish its life outside, so it caught a couple of bugs. This fragrance, the wicks struggled so badly for me. So I love the fragrance of it, but I will not be repurchasing this candle this year because of the burn. The burn was atrocious on this. I actually ended up having to dump some wax so that way the wicks could try to correct, which they did by the end. But the first few burns on this, it took forever to pull out. I had to dump wax, and then the wicks would adjust for like 2 burns, and then they would go back to being very puny with that low strength and throw. So unfortunately, the fragrance itself is really nice, but the burn was just terrible on it. So I would say that if you are a fan of this fragrance, if you've purchased one of these candles already, you might, I don't know if you might want to if you would want to back up this year's, because the burn is just not what I would like it to be. I don't think the burn makes it backup worthy, I guess. The fragrance, yes, but the burn, no. Which is kind of a shame because this is part of that like luminary line. And if they had like really good flames going with this, it would be a beautiful effect. But I like the fragrance on it. Strength and throw was still decent, even though the burn was not very good on it. I would give strength and throw about a 7 on this one. But yeah, I like the fragrance, but I won't be backing up this year's version. So if my math is correct, that is a total of 12 candles that I finished burning for the second half of August. My first candle empties for August, I finished burning 11 candles. I'll have that video linked at the end of this one if you missed it and want to see what other candles I finished burning. But now I am full on fall mode. It is all apple, pumpkin. Some of the fresh stuff is still in there, but I am definitely glad that I finished burning a lot of these candles and ready for all of the new fall stuff. With how many times I have had to stop to blow my nose during this filming, I am sure I am looking like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer right now. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I did want to give you guys just a little bit of a programming note. I am being sent the new Cringle Fall Reserve candles. They are on their way to me. In fact, right before I sat down to film this video, I did get a notice that it looks like instead of them being delivered on Tuesday, now it is saying that the candles will not be delivered until Wednesday, which is cutting it pretty close. Those candles are launching on Thursday, this Thursday, September 5th at 12 p.m. Eastern. So my plan is, As soon as those candles get in, I will sit down and film my first sniffs for you and try to get that edited and uploaded as quickly as possible. So keep an eye out for that, probably Wednesday evening, early Thursday morning prior to that launch. I do also plan to share a haul with you this weekend. I did participate in the Bath and Body Works, what was it, like their Member Appreciation Day sale, where they had some candles and I had a coupon. So I did purchase some of the Fall 2 candles from Bath and Body Works. So I had initially wanted to just bring you like a haul video, but honestly, by this point now, I've started to burn quite a few of those. So this Saturday, I'm going to have like another candle chat, but it's going to be kind of like a haul type of video where I'm going to be sharing with you candles that have recently come into my collection and give you probably some like initial post burns. In fact, I'm at the point with a lot of them that I could start doing some dedicated post burn reviews on it. But if you just want like some initial thoughts, that will be coming this weekend. I do also have some HOMEWORX candles that should be delivered this week. So a lot of fun stuff coming up for you. Just to be honest with you guys, filming this video was a little bit rough for me because again, the talking aspect with all of this post nasal drip has been really annoying. But just know that next week I do plan to start uploading some more post burn dedicated reviews. So I might have to do a couple of like two a day to just try to do some catch up work. But feel free always to message me over on Instagram if there's any candles that you may be interested in. See if I have them in stock, see if what my burn experience has been. If I haven't uploaded a dedicated review or any kind of first sniff thoughts, I'm always open to answering those questions for you. I do want to say thank you so very much for toughing this one out with me today. Also, the other thing I was going to say is that I will not be doing my candle collection update video for this month. Just like I said, I feel like I'm a little bit behind on my content. So I will combine my August and September candle collection update video at the end of this month. But I just want to give you guys that little update. Again, please hit thumbs up if you found this video enjoyable or helpful. Feel free to comment down below if you have finished burning any of these candles. What has your burn experience been with some of these Bath and Body Works candles? I don't know. I mean, at least I got them on a decent sale, but some of these, I don't know. Some burned really well for me, sweater weather, and then others like Marshmallow Fireside and Pumpkin Bonfire really struggled for me. But let me know if you're running into that issue in the comments down below. I do want to say thank you so very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.